super excited that we get to hold space today and get to know a little bit more about Blythe and Ashley, how they've grown their business, and share these strategies with you today. So to kick us off, I think what we'd love to do is introduce our two incredible founders. We're going to hold space for us to ask a few questions. And then at the end of our presentation, we can go into a little bit of how Clearco works and how we can support you. So please feel free to drop in our chat the name of your business, where you're calling from, as well as what my favorite question to ask is, how many years have you been in business? For me, like my years in business as a lemonade stand entrepreneur for my nieces and nephews has been, I think, going on 5 years. But I'm always so excited to hear about when people started and how their business emerged. So please feel free to drop that in the chat. Alrighty. So as we wait for that, I'd love to turn over the floor to you, Blythe and Ashley. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Hi, I'm Ashley McCain.
And I'm Blythe McCain. We are the owners of Cecil and Lou.
And sister-in-laws.
Yes, who share the same birthday. We have a birthday in 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh, I did not know that. Happy early birthday.
Thank you. So we started Cecil and Lou back in 2011. Yes, 2011. It's been so many years now, it's hard to keep up. But about 13 years ago, we celebrated our 13th anniversary in May of this year.
That's incredible. And I can only imagine it's been the time of starting from 2011 until now, business has changed so much. So would love to dive in. If you could introduce us to a little bit of like your early founder story. From our team, we know that like the business today has been very different from how you started. Could you tell us a little bit more about what the first inception of Cecil and Lou looked like?
Yes. So when Blythe and I started having babies, we were trying to dress the girls alike. Louise, who was my firstborn, and Cecilia, who is Blythe's firstborn. We were trying to dress them alike for Christmas pics and birthdays, and anytime we could get them in matching outfits, we took the chance. And so we were actually shopping online, kind of shopping the same similar auction format, how we started, where you would rush onto the computer, try and snag your size and your style. And if you were lucky enough to win the auction, then you got the item. So Blythe and I were doing that for several months. And finally one day, we said, let's do this ourselves. This could be fun, just like a little side gig. I was doing oil and gas and Blythe was in real estate. And so we just kind of wanted to branch out a little bit. And so we did. We started on Facebook solely. We did not have a website. Instagram was nowhere to be found. We were strictly on Facebook, and Blythe ran our ads.
Oh my goodness. I remember Ashley called me. So Louise's was probably 18 months old, and Cecilia, my daughter, was 6 months old. And we had toyed with the idea of starting like a fun part-time job, being at home while still supporting our families and raising, our babies at the time. And she goes, I have a great name for our, new business. She goes, what about Smocked Threads by Cecil and Lou? I was like, I love it. And so we kind of ran with it. Ashley, before going into oil and gas, did work for a large apparel company. And I believe you had one contact with Dallas Market.
Yes.
And that contact got us going with Cecil, or helped support Cecil and Lou from the very beginning. We would essentially go and buy extras from their company, and we would buy, as large of a size run as we can, and as large of a size run as we could afford. We started up ourselves. I remember we both put in $5,000 each, which back then that was a lot of money for our young families. And we were like, what are we doing? Are we taking too big of a risk? But anyways, that little $10,000 seed money helped us grow year after year, just organically. So we would buy these extras and we would post them on our Facebook page called Smocked Threads by Cecil and Lou. We would have a 9 p.m. Central auction start time. And before we knew it, there was this buzz about these auctions, and moms and grandmothers and friends were on our Facebook page trying to get matching clothes for their daughters or sons or families.
Yes, and we would try to situate our auctions like at the children's bedtime. So we thought 9 o'clock was like the perfect time where everyone's in bed and mom's, up on her phone. And so we started doing that, once a week, and then that turned into twice a week, and then it turned into we were doing them every night. And everything, of course, back then was so manual. Our customers would, post their email address and their size and what style they wanted. And so we would manually copy and paste into PayPal and send invoices and then print the shipping labels. We would, go to Office Depot and buy paper mailers. I mean, we were just, grabbing for straws. We had no idea what we were doing. We had, like us, we wanted to be at home, but still, have a supplemental income. And so we would hire other stay-at-home moms around kind of where we lived, and we would drop off shipping labels. They would print for us. Then we would start dropping off inventory and they would package. Then our husbands would start driving all over town in their trucks, picking up stuff to go to the post office. Mind you, this is all happening out of our dining rooms and our garages at this point.
Oh my God.
It was wild. And we look back and we don't even know how it happened because it was just absolutely crazy.
A whirlwind.
Yes.
No, that's absolutely
And so then
incredible.
we finally found a manufacturer of our own, and simply by a Google search. We had never met them, spoken to them on the phone. There was a large language barrier, and still today they are still our number one manufacturer. And we like to say, they've kind of grown and learned with us. Blythe and I are the sole designers, and we are perfectionists. So of course we perfected our designs throughout the years, and fabrics and detailing, and they've kind of grown with us. We've kind of groomed them as well, and it's been a good partnership.
No, that's fabulous. And stuff. And what a story and stuff. Like, you hear about all these stories of people and stuff who take passions and set direction from their own lives, but taking it from idea, pen to paper, like paper to the dining room to your family, expanding and impacting like so many communities. Like, it's really an incredible journey. I was wondering could you share with us a little bit about, was there a pivotal moment when you realized that Cecil and Lou maybe was more than just a side hustle and could really become a potential like full-time business?
Yes, I remember in 2017, Logan's had just been born, my third child, and we came out with a custom design. It was children's custom names. And at that point, we were with a platform called Soldsy, and they could do our invoicing for us through Facebook. So Soldsy was partnered with Facebook. Ashley and I were no longer manually emailing through PayPal. Soldsy would send our invoices for us. I remember my dad calling and going, he's a financial advisor, and he was like, Blythe, how's it going? How's the business going? And I was like, Dad, I think that we might have something here. And we just started seeing, moms continue to have babies. And so we would have repeat customers, and we found like that there was this following us. And so we were like, okay, we've got to get real serious about this. We were still working out of our dining room tables in our garages.
And we were running into customers, on vacations at the beach. We would see them in our outfits, and, it all just kind of, everything had happened so fast. And then once you start seeing stuff like that, then you sit back and you think, wow, we have created something amazing that people love and cherish. And
I got my dates wrong. That was 2014. That was my first little boy. I have two. It was 2014. So it was 10 years ago. And that's when we had like that aha moment of, okay, we might need to really focus on this.
We were outgrowing our, crowding our homes and garages.
Our husbands were going, girls, this is too much. Because we just wanted to be stay-at-home moms. We really wanted to work from home. It was never our intention to have to go out and purchase, a piece of property in a warehouse. But that's what happened. And it was, the best thing that we could.
It was. And that was always scary for us because, then you think about, oh my gosh, then we have to hire employees, then we have to, get our own monogramming machines. And then, you think of all the things, and it's just, we definitely jumped out of our comfort zone.
We had surpassed being able to outsource all of our shipments. We knew we needed to be under one roof and have a team of our own. The other stay-at-home moms were lovely that were helping us, on the hourly, but we knew that we needed to centralize the business.
And it had to be close to our homes. We always lived a block away from each other. And we always said we can never go further. And that if we had a warehouse, it had to be, within a certain mile radius of our house, because we needed to be able to go back and forth and things like that with the children, et cetera. So we found something literally 2 minutes from our neighborhood.
Yep.
And I think it was about 5,000 square feet. And so we started there and slowly started building our team. And next thing you know, we've rented the spot next to us and we filled it with monogramming machines. And, we were working out of the carport. We were trying to utilize every inch of real estate,
inside
or out.
Right.
Man, that's incredible.
But so now we're in our second warehouse and we're double the square footage, and of course we're busting at the seams again, but we'll see what happens.
Not a bad problem to have, but definitely a challenge to plan for. But
yes.
That's fantastic. So now with nearly a decade of experience under your belt and outgrowing your home, going into warehouses, learning how to juggle supply and demand of a really rapidly growing e-commerce business, I feel like you have probably are one of the best experts we can ask about in terms of planning for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, given that for a lot of our founders like yourselves, this is the game time, right? It's your biggest time of the year.
Absolutely.
And stuff, the tuitions are going up. It's the time that you want to build memories around these products and experiences, especially around baby, children, toddlers. I was just going to ask, what would you believe founders should do today to really help themselves maximize the Black Friday, Cyber Monday shopping opportunity?
So we were just talking about this actually, and we think the number one thing this month of September that you can start preparing for is you need enough inventory, and now would be the time to stock up on that inventory. Ashley and I are already, looking at reorders for products that have sold down or sold out, and we want to have those products back on our site to be able to be sold during our Black Friday essentially month. We start the first weekend of November with an early access Black Friday sale for one weekend. And we feel like each and every year we're seeing, and I know y'all are too, companies are starting earlier and earlier. So we'll run a short promotion at the beginning of November, and then our true Black Friday sale starts Tuesday the week of Thanksgiving. So not only would we say stock up on your inventory, because if there's not inventory to be shopped, you're not going to be making your sales. And as I would say, start as early as you can.
Absolutely.
And getting that messaging out to your customers.
Yes. And another thing to consider that we've discussed too internally, we do a lot of pre-orders and we do offer in stock as well. But those, if you are still waiting on inventory to come in and it's not going to be in until later, right now we're trying to maximize on our full price items as well before everything's reduced. So, getting as much on the site as you can right now for the next, 6 to 8 weeks, however long we are out. I honestly have no idea, so that you can maximize on those full price sales before then everything is reduced. And it helps on shipping, honestly, doing it in early November, getting stuff out to your customers for the holidays. Because
we might be an anomaly, but we do not reduce our Christmas items. So our Black Friday sale consists of hundreds of SKUs that are our fall, our pumpkins, our turkeys, anything else that's left on our site. Mm-hmm. And so what we see is that sale really drives that traffic to our site, but also there's still so much opportunity for our Christmas sales to come through.
For sure.
Because it's not yet December, but moms are heavily thinking about the holidays and adding to their cart those full price items. So we like to take advantage of, we don't go site wide, although majority of our site at that time is reduced.
Yeah. So. And getting your marketing in line, what ads are you running? How much is your ad spend? What did you spend last year? How you can improve, and what's going out in your text marketing and emails and things like that. So just, I think, preparing. I feel like we've been talking about this in our ad meetings already for since midsummer. It's just always on the brain.
Yeah, I feel you. It's like, I think that like a lot of our conversations with founders is we're talking about all the prep that's like happening now, the decisions that we made, but we kind of forget about all the past few months gearing up into this point, doing the A/B testing, stocking up, checking and stuff like what do we have to help us get to our end of year goals, which I'd love to kind of dig into a little bit more. Like you mentioned about this preparation stuff of your inventory, as well as all these meetings that you're having with marketing. I was wondering for our audience, if you could shed a little bit of light on our relationship and how we've worked together, because we've had such a great time being able to support you in your business. If you could shed a little bit of light of like how Clearco's funding has really assisted you in those two areas of inventory and marketing.
Absolutely.
Ashley and I are always from the standpoint of we built this business ourselves and we do not want to take on any debt. But as Cecil and Lou grew, we needed capital to front our orders. Every dollar was going back into our business, but wasn't enough to support the growth. And so this was years ago, probably 10 years ago, we went to our first local bank. And we live in a small town. We have great relationships with many bankers here in Tyler, Texas, but no one really ever understood our model and e-commerce, because 10 years ago, e-commerce was not what it was today.
Yes. And like lifespan of our products is confusing, and our pre-order model versus our in-stock model, and no one really got it.
Because anytime, whether we're using funding from Clearco or funding from our, business bank accounts, the life cycle of a product could easily be 90 to 120 days before we get the return, before that product is even ever available for purchase on our website. So Clearco came into play several years ago and has been wonderful in helping us front our orders, and we always do the 4-month payback. And so by the time the products that we have purchased with Clearco funds, by the time they really go up on our website, they're paid for, and then it's just available for purchase on our site and money in our business pocket.
Right.
So Clearco has helped us tremendously. We live in this age of instant gratification, and majority of the time when we're using Clearco funds, they are for our in-stock orders. Just this morning, Gabriella, we turned in a Clearco invoice or an invoice for Clearco to fund, and it was a reorder. Yes. Again, stocking up for
Black Friday.
For Black Friday and end of year sales. So it really affords us the opportunity to get the inventory paid for in a timely manner without holding any debt, and then able to sell at a great price on our site.
Yes, it can be scary to rock the boat of your cash flow.
Yeah.
When we have 25 employees counting on us for payroll and support, weekly. So Clearco is just an amazing product that takes the scariness away of all the stresses that come with being a business owner.
And with that said, I feel like it's been one of the best tools for us to grow our company. Without the capital that we receive and monthly from Clearco, I mean, we would be spinning our wheels, because the money coming in would be going out, and there would never be let us get to that next level.
Right. And just the easiness of it. I uploaded an invoice this morning, and 10 minutes later it was approved and ready to sign off. And then tomorrow the wire will go out overseas to our manufacturer.
That really is like music to my ears, because speaking with founders, like we hear about so many different like stories of some people who have self-funded like from the get-go, some people who went to banks, were denied, who tried a lot of different avenues, did the family and friends, and it's a interesting way to tackle the problem, but like predictability and being able to kind of take a step back and ensure and be proud that you still have ownership of your company, you have ownership over the products and the design and the direction you want to go to. It makes our hearts like so full hearing how
it really
we can
does,
support you.
especially, you know, as business owners, the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into it, and especially for us, you know, it's our children's names, so it's very personal to us, and we would never want to let anyone in at this time except Clearco.
And there were times, you know, years ago, I think the most amount that the bank would ever loan us, and this was again years ago, was like $150,000. Well, that doesn't get us very far with the size of our business today. Clearco could fund us $150,000 in one day to spend on invoices.
Right.
And so just you're not comparing apples to apples with the banking lending versus Clearco.
Yeah, no, and like we hope that and we hope that traditional banking one day will get up to speed to really understand like the needs of e-commerce businesses like yourselves. But unfortunately for now, it's just, we get to be the model, I guess. We get to be the model and start to show there's proof in the pudding that like this type of model and stuff really can help grow and like scale your business. So speaking of growing and scaling, wondering if you could, you know, tell us a little bit more of like what's on the roadmap ahead. If it was blue sky, where would you guys want to take Cecil and Lou?
It's a funny question. We talk about this often because we are really, we speak out of both sides of our mouth. We're really content and happy with where the business is today, but there has not been a year where we have not experienced growth. And many of those years, it's organic growth. And so we want to see the business continue to grow and thrive, but we also are really content with our little bubble. So,
and that's what we say. We meet with our accountants, and you know, everything's aligned, and we've done a great job, you know, getting all of our ducks in a row this year. And then you know, we leave and we're like, we got to do more. We got to do more.
So we will still continue to grow. We sure hope so. And we will do everything. But, you know, take, for example, our warehouse. We're in 11,000 square feet, and we really are already busting at the seams. And we love this space. But it's, you know, there's so many other things you have to think about when the business grows, you know, your team, your location. There's a lot of luxuries that we have. Being here with our team size the way it is, and our warehouse size the way it is. And so there's growth is lovely and good, but there's a lot of things that go into it that, you know,
and a lot of unknowns, you know.
Right.
I mean, the industry is ever changing, and we try so hard to stay, you know, stay on top and stay moving with the trends, but it happens so often and quickly that sometimes it's hard to keep up. So we do our best.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fantastic.
We do rely on a huge team of experts, though.
Yeah.
Like Blythe and I say, we design baby clothes.
Yeah.
And we definitely rely on our experts for the rest.
Had we known back in college that we were going to start a company, we probably would have chosen different majors.
Yeah.
But
in many ways, being expert yourselves is like you've grown an incredible business. And I think that many of our founders will look up to yours of seeing like, this is what is possible. This is what is possible when you work together, when we test and try and figure things out and ultimately grow. So before we turn it over to our audience first for questions, is there any parting advice that you would give, say, a budding entrepreneur starting in this industry, in this vertical for the first time, looking to grow a successful business in e-commerce?
Blythe and I always say you need a partner. Yeah, it's so hard to do on your own. I mean, it's definitely obviously doable, but you know, you need someone to bounce off of. And like we say, you know, one day Blythe could be on and I'm off, or one day I'm off and she's on. You know, we rely a lot on each other.
And also, I would say, because I think early on, like I said, we were very hesitant to rely on funding, and really funding was not out there. We just had to make it work with what we had.
Mm-hmm.
I would greatly encourage these founders, no matter how new their business is, if they have a product that's selling, take that leap. It doesn't have to be huge, but take that little leap, because if you have a product that your customers want and is in demand, you can't have a business without the product to sell and give to the customers. So if Clearco can help these founders do that, we would have loved it several years ago.
I know sometimes, you feel like your hands are tied, but I feel like Clearco definitely allows for that growth if
that
you're
flexibility.
Ready yes.
The flexibility to choose what you want to do.
No, that's fantastic. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to check into our chat to see if we have any questions and stuff for you guys to answer from our audience. Please bear with me. I like to be a Zoom expert, but
no, that's okay.
I am not.
I don't think I'll ever be a Zoom expert.
No. How many attendees do we have?
There's quite a few attendees now who are familiar with us and stuff, which is great to see, and have come to our events previously. They're familiar with our product. We might go into like one or two submitted questions that we had before. Our attendees weren't able to join us today, but would love to be able to ask you on stuff on their behalf and be able to send that over to you. So they were looking for, so one of our attendees had asked us, what are the challenges and stuff that you feel like are kind of on the roadmap for businesses trying to grow in like children's apparel space, given some of like the market changes that we're seeing and so on?
I think advertising, the ebbs and flows of that can sometimes be stressful, and the algorithms on Facebook and Instagram, just for instance, today Blythe saw one of our ads that popped up that was AI generated. It was nothing, that our comments or our caption, none of that was on there. It was just like a random pop thing like that. And so I don't know, it's just all the changes, and you just kind of have to manage through those and
take them as they come.
Yes.
And like we say, like we rely on experts, our web designer and our marketing team, and those that are familiar with Meta and Google ads and all that. Like we have companies that do that heavy lifting for us.
I would say as of right now, Meta is one of our stressors.
Yes. And it's just because it's changing so quickly,
and trying to keep up.
But you have to remember, when we first started, we started on Facebook. We didn't even have a website until like 4 years into our company. Thank goodness, we built a presence on Facebook and then Instagram. And then, the good Lord told us, y'all need to get a website, because without our site today, there's no more comment selling.
No.
How our business first began,
But our Facebook and Instagram advertising still takes the lead over Google.
Gotcha. And so when you're planning like your ad set for like the year, then how do you guys plan out like that marketing spend then between those two channels?
We greatly rely on historical data. We look back and see what worked and what did not work the previous year. And then again, we are with an ad company that is, watching that ad spend on the daily. And we as the owners might go, oh gosh, we're only spending X amount of dollars on Christmas. We should be spending this much on Christmas daily. So they rely on us just as much as we rely on them. We know what we have heavy stock in right now and what items need to be pushed. We're moms. We know what seasons moms are thinking about buying for their children. It's almost coat season, not in Texas, but almost. We'll get there.
And even though we're just in September, a lot of our customers have already stocked up on Christmas pajamas and, all their holiday outfits. And I would be willing to bet many of our customers have already taken their Christmas card photos. A lot of mothers that like to plan, and then a lot of moms who are last minute that want to come to our shop, the week before Christmas Eve and load up. So we've got both.
Oh, that's fantastic. And so another question that we had submitted from one of our audience members was around customer retention, right? A lot of your audience and stuff, like once we know from from our relationship, like when a new customer comes in, they love your brand, they love it very, very deeply, but that your customer profile, each individual will eventually essentially age out, right? As the kids basically grow. So for some of our founders and stuff who are really focusing on the baby and toddler phase, they're really struggling to figure out how to place their dollars. What should they do? Should they look about expanding and stuff like the age range, or should they double down and focus on a very select age group? What would be a strategy that you would recommend to them?
I know. I feel like the baby and toddler age group is the most popular. Once you get, into that elementary school age, everyone gets so picky, and the boys, want to move into all their athletic wear, and the girls, are wearing t-shirts and shorts and things like that. I mean, I think for us, our main sizing is newborn to about 6 or 7.
We do go up to a size 12 on pajamas and a few pieces. But also that's when I would say, you have to look at your product and pivot. Athleisure is such a huge, seller right now. And so our tennis line, our golf line, our tennis skirts, like our performance for boys sell so well. And so, yes, that might not be a design that we started with 10, 13 years ago, but you stay ahead of the trends, and that has helped us. Also say in the children's clothing world, if you have a mom having her first baby, she could have 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to however many children. So you really could have a customer for a good 12 to 15 years, depending on the size of the family, let alone a grandmother who has 15 grandchildren that she wants to buy matching, Christmas pajamas for. So I feel like we are fortunate in the clothing industry for children's and toddler and babies, because babies do grow and they grow fast. And so you need that size range to keep your customer.
To speak to Blythe, about how quickly, the children grow and all of that, I think our price point has been a huge help for us. A child can wear something to church and ruin it in lunch an hour later. And so, when you're looking at our price point, it doesn't seem like, such a punch when you're talking about, outfitting multiple children, or, talking about a child being in several outfits per day. Sometimes.
We prided ourselves and truly believe that a huge part of the success of our business has been our price points. We do not have a storefront or brick and mortar. We never have, and we never will. And so with us being able to sell solely on e-commerce, it takes out the middleman, and we can remain at wholesale pricing for our customers. And for the growing families and multiple children and how quickly they grow, that's a really beautiful thing, to be able to get a boutique price, boutique quality at our price.
Absolutely. And I love those call outs because I think that those insights are so valuable, because I think a lot of our founders, when we're looking at their business and stuff, they're thinking of a very specific customer with a very specific product, like starting out, and we forget that imagination of you can pivot your own designs and stuff. You can encapsulate more than say just event wear. It can be sportswear. It can be back to school. It can be other specific types of like dress occasions and stuff that really allow your customer to embrace your brand so much more and extend that relationship to their friends and their families. So I really love that call out.
The more variety you can offer your customer, the better, because not everyone wants the same thing.
No, and I think it's smart to, like we say, not put all of your eggs in one basket. Use multiple manufacturers. Test the qualities out. Not every manufacturer is going to offer the same quality and the same styles and the same touch and feel. So, have that variety, and also check your pricing. I mean, I feel like we're constantly, comparing our manufacturers and negotiating pricing and things like that, because obviously, the more in the back end of the business, the better.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Thank you guys so much for sharing all your wisdom with us. Stuff I feel like any founder and stuff who gets to hear your story, who are just starting out or who are in that 5-year mark of their business, or even at a 10-year mark and stuff, can learn so much from the different types of ways that you have grown your business. You've protected your brand, you've protected the integrity, you've really designed your business in the way that how you want to run that. And it is such like music to our ears, because we hope that all founders get to essentially build their dream business exactly as they imagine it. So we thank you guys so much for joining us. At this point in our presentation, I think we'll let you guys go. I'm sure you guys have lots of stuff to resume. We are so excited to watch what you guys come up with next, and then we will pivot into the rest of our presentation with our audience about a little bit more about how our product works. So thank you guys.